Good Personal Hygiene Module 2. In this module, we'll explore the critical role of personal hygiene in food safety, understanding how hand hygiene affects food safety, identifying behaviors that can lead to contamination, examining connection between employee health and foodborne illnesses. Poor personal hygiene is a significant concern and a primary cause of highly contagious foodborne illnesses such as hepatitis A and norovirus. Ensuring proper hygiene practices is essential for preventing these outbreaks. In this module, food handlers will learn about hand washing practices, hand antiseptics and sanitizers, bare hand contact and barriers, personal habits and behaviors, employee health and food safety, and other important practices. Enhancing the hand washing practices of food handlers is essential to combating foodborne illnesses and the big 6 pathogens responsible for these illnesses. Studies reveal that food handlers engage in activities warranting hand washing approximately 9 times per hour. These activities include, and are not limited to, handling raw chicken, touching their face, contact with their clothes, touching contaminated surfaces. Despite the frequency of necessary hand washing, only 32% of food handlers wash their hands correctly even when they attempt to do so. Reducing foodborne illnesses transmitted through fecal-oral route hinges on 3 critical, interdependent factors. These factors, identified by the National Advisory Committee on Microbiological Criteria for Foods, NACMF, are essential in maintaining personal hygiene and preventing the spreading of microscopic pathogens. They include, number 1, exclusion or restriction of ill food handlers, preventing sick individuals from handling food. Number 2, proper hand washing, ensuring thorough and regular hand washing. And number 3, no bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods, using utensils or gloves to handle ready-to-eat foods. By adhering to these guidelines, we can significantly reduce the risk of foodborne illness. In the United States, more than 2/3 of reported foodborne illnesses can be traced back to infected food handlers. These outbreaks predominantly involve fecal-oral transmission, where pathogens are spread from an infected person's intestines to their hands and then to the food. This contamination occurs due to inadequate or non-existent hand washing practices. Additionally, infected cuts, burns, or boils on hands can also contaminate food. It takes just 20 seconds to save a life. Remember, foodborne illness is transmitted through food and does not necessarily come from the pathogens in the food itself. Pathogens can be carried by people, including viruses and parasites. Proper hand washing is a crucial process that should take at least 20 seconds. During this time, you effectively remove contamination and pathogens that can cause serious harm or even be fatal. It cannot be overstressed how important it is to wash your hands correctly and frequently. According to the 2022 FDA Model Food Code, which as of 2024 was adopted by the state of Illinois, food employees must keep their hands and exposed portions of their arms clean. The following hand washing procedures are recommended. Step 1. Wet hands and exposed portions of arms under warm running water as hot as you can comfortably stand. Step 2. Apply soap and form a good lather. I like to say, make bubbles. Step 3. Scrub hands and arms vigorously for 10 to 15 seconds. Make sure you clean in between fingers and under fingernails each and every time you wash your hands. Consider using a fingernail brush. Did you ever wonder just how long 15 seconds is? It's just 15 seconds, right? Well, 15 seconds is often longer than you think, but is a very easy time to track. It is about the same amount of time it takes to sing Happy Birthday to You twice. My personal favorite is singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat twice. Step 4. Rinse your hands and arms under warm, clean, running water. Step 5. Dry your hands and arms with a single-use paper towel. Never use your clothing or apron to dry your hands. To avoid recontaminating your hands, food handlers should use the single-use paper towel when turning off the faucet and opening the restroom door. So, when should you wash your hands? Well, definitely you should wash your hands before touching anything after entering the food preparation area, putting on clean single-use gloves in between glove changes, preparing or serving food, handling clean equipment or clean serving utensils, starting a new task, switching between handling raw foods and working with ready-to-eat foods. And you should definitely wash your hands after handling raw meat, poultry, or seafood, and before handling any food item, handling dirty dishes, equipment, or utensils, after handling money or taking out the trash, after using the bathroom or handling chemicals or pesticides, after coughing, sneezing, or blowing your nose, or using tobacco, eating, or drinking, and after touching your clothing or your apron. Make sure you wash your hands only in the hand washing sink specifically set aside for washing hands. It's called the hand washing station. Nothing can block the approach to the hand washing sink. Nothing should be left in the hand washing sink. It must be kept clean and fully stocked with soap and single-use paper towels. A properly stocked hand washing station should have hot and cold running water, a soap dispenser, single-use paper towels, a garbage container. A sign telling food workers to wash their hands must be placed at every hand washing sink that they use. The sign should be easy for them to see. These items are essential for proper hand washing and saving lives. Using hand sanitizers. FDA-approved hand sanitizers are allowed for use by food handlers. If using hand sanitizers, use hand sanitizers only after proper hand washing. Do not use hand sanitizers instead of washing hands. Do not touch food or food contact surfaces until the hand sanitizer is completely dried on your hands. Studies have shown that hand sanitizers alone are not effective in the reduction of foodborne pathogens, specifically norovirus. Studies have also shown that hand sanitizers alone do not remove the fatty, proteinaceous materials, oils, foods high in proteins and other fatty materials that can coat and protect pathogens, dirt, feces, and other contaminants. Sanitizers alone do not break down these materials. Again, only use hand sanitizers after proper hand washing. Ready-to-eat foods are foods that require no additional preparation, such as cooked foods, washed fruits and vegetables, baked goods, sugar, spices, and seasonings. These foods require special handling to prevent contamination resulting from bare hand contact. The big six pathogens are examples of the risk associated with the spread of illnesses due to improper bare hand contact. The FDA recommends that barriers such as single-use gloves be used to prevent bare hand contact with foods. specifically with ready-to-eat foods or RTE foods. To be effective, single-use gloves should fit your hands properly. If the gloves are too small, they rip and tear easily and may not pull all the way up. If the gloves are too large, they may slip off easily. Do not rinse, wash, or reuse gloves. They are called single-use gloves for a reason. You do not want to contaminate your single-use gloves, so wash your hands before putting on the gloves and when changing to a new pair. Do not blow into single-use gloves or roll them in your hands to make them easier to put on. As soon as the single-use glove becomes ripped or torn, they should be immediately changed. When changing tasks, the single-use glove should be changed before beginning the new task and after washing hands. Single-use gloves should be changed after handling raw meat, seafood, or poultry, and before handling other raw meat, seafood, or poultry, or ready-to-eat foods. Single-use gloves are required to be changed at least every 4 hours during continual use. They should be changed more often if necessary. A food handler's fingernails should be trimmed, filed, and well maintained. Unless wearing intact gloves in good repair, a food handler may not wear fingernail polish or artificial nails when working with exposed food. Potential hazards of fingernail polish include biological, chemical, and physical contamination. Do not wear jewelry on hands or exposed arms, except for a plain metal band, such as a wedding band on your finger. Jewelry, such as engagement rings, watches, or even medical bracelets, can harbor bacteria and dirt and can cause physical hazards if parts fall into food. Jewelry can also pose a personal safety hazard if caught in equipment. Food handlers can continue to serve and prepare food with a cut or wound on their hand if they wear an impermeable cover such as a bandage, finger cot, or stall, and a single-use glove. Did you know the average person loses 50 to 75 hairs per day? Hair is a very common physical contaminant, which can also carry pathogens. If found in or on food, it can not only lead to customer dissatisfaction, but also possibly to illness. All food handlers preparing food shall wear hair restraints such as hats, hair nets, beard restraints, and clothing that covers body hair. These should be designed to effectively keep hair from contacting food, equipment, utensils, linens, and unwrapped single-use items. Wear clean outer clothing every day to prevent contamination of food or food contact surfaces. This includes chef's coats, uniforms, aprons, ordinary work clothes. Remove aprons and hang or store them properly when leaving the food preparation area, going into the restroom, removing garbage from the facility. Never eat, drink, smoke, or chew gum or tobacco in food preparation areas, in service areas, in areas used to clean utensils and equipment. Employees should only eat, drink, smoke, or chew gum or tobacco in designated areas. Food employees may not care for or handle animals that may be present with the customers, such as patrol dogs, service animals, or pets. However, food employees with assistance animals may handle or care for their assistance animals. Food employees may also handle or care for fish in aquariums, molluscan shellfish, or crustaceans in display tanks. In all cases, proper hand washing is required before handling food. 20% of all foodborne illnesses is a result of sick food handlers. Call in and tell your manager when you're sick, especially when you have symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, jaundice, yellowing of the eyes and skin, sore throat with a fever, lesions containing pus. Staying home when sick is practicing responsible food safety. Here they are again. Remember, the Big Six is a name for a group of foodborne pathogens that are dangerous and highly contagious. The Big Six pathogens contaminate the gastrointestinal system after ingestion and are shed in feces. A food handler must report to their employer if they are diagnosed with, exposed to, exhibiting symptoms, or recovering from any of the Big Six. Food handlers with these symptoms are legally required to be excluded from the operation. The Big Six includes Shiga toxin-producing E. coli, Shigella, hepatitis A, Salmonella typhi, Salmonella non-typhoidal, and norovirus. If you're experiencing symptoms such as discharges from your eyes, nose, and mouth, or persistent sneezing or coughing, you must be restricted from working with food, equipment, utensils, linens, or single-use items. Food handlers experiencing these symptoms shall be restricted from handling food or food items until the symptoms have gone for at least 24 hours. Wow, you're almost finished with Module 2. There are 4 multiple-choice questions you must answer to demonstrate understanding. Read the questions and select the best answer. You're required to get 75% or 3 correct to move on to the next module.